Hi Leo, here is a general look at your solar chart for August 2013, and may I wish you a happy birthday if you haven't had it already. You can get an awful lot done behind the scenes in August, well in fact most of August. Your intuition is working very well, but something rooted in the past, maybe that you would like to heal, correct, find a solution to, that is now up for improvement, or in fact, a complete cure. There's a lot going on in the sky at the moment for us all, but until the 23rd, the sun, which of course is your ruling celestial body, it's not even a planet, it's a star. And so you are a bit of a star, really, aren't you, on the quiet. You can handle adulation and praise quite well, and it's a good time for you to be sitting back on your throne and taking stock of the dance of life over these past 12 months. And in general, the way should be clearer for you to get on with doing things which improve things for yourself personally. And so you've got permission to be more self-centered at this time, because this is the one time of the year when you absolutely don't have to doubt that, or feel guilty that you can. But guilt really isn't one of your things, is it, Leo? You understand what it is to be sitting at the center, like the sun at the center of the solar system, and just resting in your power. So whatever you need to do to support yourself on a physical, mental, emotional or spiritual level, go for it. If it just means, retail therapy, fine. But also, you can sit back on your throne and allow others to sort of kneel before you and offer their gifts and their contributions to you. And just bask in that, just bask in that, because you will be radiating this beautiful sun energy out to others. Your sign is ruled by the cat, the big cat, the winged golden lion. And cats, well, you've seen them, they are a law unto themselves, and they always choose exactly the right spot which suits them the best. So, you do have permission. You absolutely do have permission to do that now, as if you needed me to give it to you. Which you probably didn't, but this is just a reminder. And for any of you unrealized Leos, then this is your fate, this is your destiny. It's to be at the center of something and radiate out, because that's the sun at the center of the solar system. Now, from the 23rd, the sun moves. It goes into a more practical area to do with basic stuff, finances, anything which affects your material life, your material security, your physical well-being. So any of that will have more of your attention, and key things will be centered around finances, equipment, just stuff really, possessions, and how you can make the most of it, how you can capitalize on it, how you can improve the chances there to get things organized in a better kind of a way, related to your resources really, but also it is indirectly to do with health, so to do with improving well-being and health, diet, exercise, that type of thing. And that might not just be yours, that might be somebody else. Mercury has been, for ever such a long time, Mercury has been in a very deep background area of your chart, meaning that your mind has been very sort of turned inwards, introspective, lots of ifs and buts and maybes going on in your mind, maybe a little bit of confusion there sometimes. To others you may come across as being a little preoccupied or a little kind of held back. Maybe it's not so easy to get a hold of you, or you're not so ready to sort of leap forward and be, right in the mainstream of socializing. Zoning out a little bit more. Great for any of you using your imagination, but some of you may have felt mentally at 6s and 7s. Some things may have been up in the air, undecided, just undecided, niggle, niggle, niggle. Did I say that's been there since the back end of May? So at this time you do your best thinking by just not thinking, by just letting go, by resting, meditating, developing the ability to meditate regularly would be the number one best thing that I could suggest for this very, very long transit of Mercury, which has still got a little way to run if you listen to this in the middle of July. But as I say, imagination can work a lot better, intuition can work a lot better, and it's a great time for you to go in for self-nurturing, healing, more spiritual type pursuits, yoga, tai chi, that kind of thing as well, and do some work on yourself in whatever way you need to get beyond what's been standing in the way of your happiness and well-being. Then from the night of the 24th, Mercury just whizzes through the next sign, which is yours, and comes into your first house, and then you are really much more out there with your awareness, with your attention, in the stream of information exchange, maybe more correspondence going on, paperwork, lots to get your head around, maybe vehicles and communication or communications equipment are more on your mind during this very quick transit of Mercury here, and also travel plans, sort of planning things in general, but it might be to do with travel, transport, lots more social interaction is likely with Mercury there, and you could be developing your ability through speaking, writing, or creative self-expression. And then from the 24th, Mercury moves and then goes into this very practical area that the Sun is in, so both of them are in there together, and you're going to be more aware of the piggy bank, having conversations, correspondence, paperwork could all be centered around your basic stuff, your basic possessions, your material security, your finances, and how to, really make the most of what assets you have, and how to kind of organize it to get the most out of it. So until the 17th, Venus is in an area which is also about money, property, possessions, basic stuff. So that's actually a really nice place for you to have Venus before Mercury and the Sun come in there. It means that there's at the very least, at the very minimum, there's a buffer there for you to do with resources, and at the very maximum you can do quite well materially out of Venus being in this part of your solar chart. She can open up the path between you and goodies, nice things, treats, money, but just be careful, because sometimes this flow of energy, it goes both ways. So the Venus energy can mean that it's flowing away from you, and there's more that you are perhaps more is coming out of your pocket. You're quicker on the draw with your credit card or your debit card. But overall, you get the cards are stacked in your favor really with Venus there. You get a chance to use the material resources to satisfy a need or a desire. Physically, if things have been out of balance in this sector, to do with any resources, whether that's money or anything else that you would call a resource, which might even be, an inborn talent of yours that you're just not activating enough, then this transit of Venus, relatively quick transit of Venus, is just going to underpin you using that well, and can help you find the balance there again if you use that Venus energy well. And others will be valuing something about you more during this time, I think up until the 17th. Valuing just you or your practical contribution, or something that you're producing. And then from the 17th, Venus is in your communication sector. She brings grace, fluency, flow to your thinking, speaking. It improves your people skills. It allows you to settle feuds or to get a good deal through negotiations. It encourages creative self-expression. It allows you to get to feel supported by your siblings or your soul brothers and sisters. And you can come across as very persuasive at this time if you are applying for something in some way. This is a good time perhaps to do it. Until the 28th, Mars is colluding with Jupiter in this very background area of your chart. I call it the incubation area, and it's very inward, private. Suggests things could be very dynamically busy, but behind the scenes, you're not ready for the grand launch yet. You're not ready to come out center stage. You're getting on with it backstage. So this is a good time for keeping yourself to yourself as much as possible. Don't put yourself out there too much. It's not time, because your batteries are recharging. It's like, you're trying to use an appliance, but it's also plugged in because it's trying to get recharged. And this is the time to go, to do whatever you need to do, like I said at the very beginning, for yourself personally, to get something right, to get something how you want it to be. So go in for nurturing, more nurturing maybe, healing type activities, restful pursuits, whatever takes you out of yourself, but also takes you towards this launching, this ta-da, here I am moment, you see. This Mars transit tends to encourage more self-reflection, but it'll also stimulate your unconscious and your imagination, and you'll be in closer touch maybe with your dreams or with your source energy from your higher self source energy. However, on a more mundane level, your emotions are likely to be nearer the surface. You can be harking back to the past a little bit more. You can be thinking about mistakes and so on. So, okay, rework them. Just go back there and rewrite the script so that you don't fall down the same old emotional holes in the road in the future. So I see this area as a sort of chrysalis or a cocoon within which this beautiful butterfly can develop out of this like sort of lowly little caterpillar over this time. But because your energies are turned inwards, your physical vitality could be a bit lower, so just be gentle with yourself. Don't overstretch yourself. Don't expect too much from yourself, but stay close and pay attention to dreams, visions, omens, coincidences, synchronicities. And of course go in for things, as I said earlier, yoga, meditation, clairvoyance, healing, the arts, anything like that. Now, there's a lot going on in the sky this month and last month too in July. And I spoke about the grand trine in the water signs last month. And that's a very supportive aspect for us all. It will be related to family and community, your place on the map, or possibly something unfinished from the past. It promotes a new level of understanding as you become aware of things that may have eluded you previously. You can be more sensitive or insightful towards others, as this abstract ideal, this thing that you want to manifest, gradually is finding its form, and you can benefit by pursuing your visions to manifest those into reality, but also a more spiritual, nurturing, healing path, but also using your imagination more, allowing your imagination to flow more. So in August there's going to be this other great alignment which is bolted onto the side this sort of thing of the grand trine, which is this great talent energy which is rather lazy and chilled and laid back, but as soon as we get this T-square or this working triangle bolted onto the side of the grand trine, then we get the engine pumping, then we get the fuel pumping. Then we get the blood flowing, and then this is all accelerating and speeding up this beautiful soft energy which is very supportive, which I talked about last month, by this T-square or the working triangle. and it creates a tension. It creates a sort of a firing up, conflicting energy, and it in and of itself it is actually quite challenging. But the bottom line is that it's going to dynamically activate this larger grand trine energy, and to move it, and then that energy will start to apply itself in useful ways. And it'll be through the tension inherent in this T-square, or working triangle, as I call it, that the energy of the sensitive grand trine will become a wave of power. So therefore, what I was saying to you about how you can use this for healing, for spiritual pursuits, for making the dream into a reality, will just really get this tremendous bolt of a blast of energy from this T-square, which is, can bring conflict along, can bring tension along, but it's always to do with where we choose to put our attention. So whether we put our awareness on that stirring up, that hubble bubble, toil and trouble, or whether we put it on the bigger alignment of this superconductor of the positive energy. So, it's just up to you. And the transit comes exact on August the 8th, but it'll be in operation for the whole of the month, but particularly strong at that time, particularly affecting, in fact, those of you born towards the end of July and the beginning of August. And if you also watch out over about the 28th of July, there will be a fleeting pass of Mars over that point there, when Jupiter is just coming into position. So there might be a little bit of a preview there of what is to come. Now, Jupiter is in this background area for a very long transit, and this is time for you to resolve the past, let go, forgive, and also tie up the loose ends from the past, do the work on yourself that you need to do to take you on to the next chapter in your life before Jupiter comes into your own sign next year, Leo. And Saturn is in a long cycle of challenging you harder through your family connections, your family relationships, or through community connections, neighborhood connections, the neighbor from hell or whatever, and also domestic setup, place on the map, and all of that will need you to work harder at it, and you will feel things are lacking in those areas there. That's usually the way Saturn operates. And you Leos born between the 26th to the 30th or 31st of July, or with 4 to 8 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. And that is it for August. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to the forecast for those. It'll give you another slant on what I've said here. Also, I update the positions of the slow moving outer planets on my website every month. If you want to know how they may be affecting your sign and where they are at the moment, then have a look at that, and I will see you the next